An opening statement, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As we all know, global demand for minerals is skyrocketing with no end in sight. Everything from our cell phones to X-ray machines to electric vehicles would be inoperable without minerals, not to mention the fact that minerals such as copper are the cornerstone of a clean energy future. Copper is a key part of this equation. In the last 5,000 years, mankind has mined 550 metric tons of copper. Let me repeat that, 5,000 years and 550 metric tons. Now, scientists estimate that the world will need to mine the same amount that we've mined in 5,000 years. We will need to mine that in the next 25 years alone to meet the global demand. With these facts in mind, you'd think that we would have members of both parties taking every opportunity to boost American copper mining and exploration, since our rigorous environmental standards lead the world. But the opposite is true. Democrats on this committee and across the Biden administration have attacked domestic mineral production over and over and over again, with the net effect of boosting China's mineral stranglehold on the world. I understand the idea of not in my backyard, but we have to have a little bit of reality in the equation. There are people who don't like agriculture, but without agriculture, we don't eat. There are people who don't like oil and gas exploration, but without oil and gas, we cannot meet our energy demands. And there are people who don't like mining. There are people who don't like logging, but you know what? Without logging, we don't have toilet paper. Without mining, we don't have the electronics and the clean energy future that we're looking forward to. We can do it better in America than anywhere else, but we have to get past this not in my backyard mentality. The Resolution copper mine in Mr. Gosar's district has been in the permitting process for years. It would revitalize the state's economy and meet up to a quarter of our U.S. demands for copper for the next 40 years. Supporting this domestic mining project should be a no-brainer, yet the Biden administration has rescinded the mine's permit and kept these valuable American minerals under lock and key. And I'll remind everyone that this project was done by a bipartisan agreement between Senator McCain and Senator Reid. Mr. Gosar's resolution of inquiry would provide an opportunity for oversight into this administration's unilateral decision, something that's been severely lacking under the committee's current operation. After all, without thorough congressional oversight, federal agencies essentially remain a black box, shutting off the American taxpayer from having any insight to the decisions that impact their daily lives. This administration's status quo has been to delay and stall. They've halted energy leases, slow-walked permitting, fired American workers, and driven out our industries to overseas competitors. We need answers. Earlier this year, several of my colleagues and I filed other resolutions of inquiry that would provide more essential transparency into federal agencies, pulling back the curtain to see how they were spending taxpayer funds and implementing programs. Committee Democrats unilaterally voted against every single one. Oversight is not a partisan issue, or at least it shouldn't be. All we're asking for are documents and materials that already exist so that we can ensure the Biden administration is complying with the law and congressional intent. Without this oversight, questions remain unanswered and federal agencies remain unaccountable to the American taxpayer. No party, agency, or federal official is above the law. It's time for this committee to do its job and get some answers. My colleagues can start today by voting favorably to report this resolution of inquiry from the committee. Mr. Chairman, I appreciate you holding this markup, and I yield back.